Good evening. Welcome to No Teachers Left Behind with Dr. Judy Murray. So, tonight we're going to talk about teachers and their families. Yeah, believe it or not, teachers have families. I know, hard to believe that, their jobs are so stressful and they have to go home sometimes to a stressful environment. Let's first talk about once the teacher gets home and what she's faced with after being in a classroom environment where it's stressful for more than 8 hours. So let's talk about a typical possible day in a teacher's life where she gets home, she has children, she has a husband, she has pets to feed. We don't know what's going to hit this teacher when she gets home, but usually there are numerous of things to do: cooking dinner, feeding the animals, answering phone calls, still working probably. But needless to say, she has children that she has to greet and be happy, and not to mention her husband. I think about the stress level of a teacher being in a classroom with disrespectful students and sometimes disrespectful parents and unsupportive administration. We all know the saga, but again, I am not on here to keep talking about how bad it is and how bad it could be. I am really about solutions. How can we help teachers return to their homes in a better state? Just think about something. When a teacher signs a contract with the school district, I believe there should be some type of clause or some type of agreement that teachers get an additional, I would say, called family time. Family time is very necessary because if a teacher didn't have a family, a happy family, he or she would not gain the emotional support that they need to continue to be a teacher. Teachers have to go home and just vent because the days are so heavy. Many teachers do not get counseling for what their issues are because they may seem incompetent. They never know who the therapist is related to, or if the therapist knows their principal. They don't know. So, the life of a teacher when it comes to support emotionally usually is just her family, her husband, her children, her brothers, her sisters, her parents. But in this case, I'm talking about what the school districts can do to ensure that the teacher that she gets or he or she gets time with her family. Just like they have sick days and mental health days, okay, we need to have family days for teachers. Families are so important to teachers because a teacher might have to ask her son or daughter, "Can you help me correct the papers?" A teacher might have to ask her husband, "Honey, I can you cook dinner? I have to grade papers." I believe that sometimes administrative, staff and the powers that be forget that teachers have real families. And let's go to another topic about being emotionally present for her children. It's the big one because during the day, she's got about 30 students, but actually they're her children because some parents do not want to take the responsibility of being a parent. So all that responsibility lies on the teacher. So when she gets home to her biological, children, what does she have left? We talk about having family days, but I also believe that somewhere in the contract, teachers should be given opportunities to either bring their I wouldn't bring your children to school, but have a half day where they're picking up their child and leaving the school maybe twice a week to spend special time, quality time with their own children. That would be um, so cool and so relaxing to let their child know that mommy loves you or daddy loves you. Although I come home with papers to grade, parents to talk to, and stressed out for my 30 other children slash students, I still love you. And let's hit the husband, the spouse. Wow, that's a big one. So whether you're married or a boyfriend, girlfriend, teachers, again, they don't seek out counseling because they're afraid they can lose their job. So their spouse is very, very important in their lives. And I believe also a couple of days or more a month should be built in for a husband or boyfriend, spouse, partner time for a teacher. And I know you're saying to me, Dr. Murray, that's a lot. I mean, you're asking her a lot. Well, we're on a strike in Los Angeles, California now because no one's listening. That teachers have needs. Teachers are the foundation to our nation. Why is it that everyone else gets a break? Everybody else gets a nice contract. And teachers are the ones who produce every career in this country. Without a teacher, I'll say it over and over, you wouldn't have a doctor's office to go to. You wouldn't have an attorney to hire. And of course, you NFL football players, you wouldn't be making millions of dollars. You all had to go to the system, through the system, and you all had teachers. The day will come, and I'm not sure how soon, that if we don't start treating our teachers with respect and honor and gratitude and allowing them to be with their families and live a normal life, I'm sorry, I guess you have to just produce an AI teacher because teachers cannot last under this type of pressure, especially for what they're being paid. It's coming soon because the strikes will continue, or the students will not get the education that they need to succeed in this society. And I talk about Germany and how Germany, their country they have a track system for trades. Are we getting to that point where education is useless, and so students just end up going into trade schools? Could be. Or are we getting to the point where technology and social media will replace teachers? Probably so. I'm just speaking up and being a voice for such a time as this. While we have human teachers in the classroom, give them a break. It doesn't have to be a lot of screaming, hollering, yelling. It doesn't even have to get to the point where they're walking out. Of course, that's where we are. But I'm going to continue to try my best to speak calmly and wisely and being proactive and speaking and being a voice for the teachers who are not, maybe they're not even calm enough to speak and say what they want and what they need. Maybe they're so frustrated they're tired of talking. But because I am an older generation of teachers and I've been around for a while, I can continue to try to make some sense for the next generation of teachers. So we all have to leave something behind. You know how it goes. As we get older, we leave something to our children. We leave something to the next generation. Whatever field you might be in, you wanna leave something. You don't want to just live and die. And as an educator, I want to see change. It is my desire one day to have a counseling center just for teachers so they can come in the privacy of this space, get whatever they need, including their families. So that's it for tonight. I just wanted to really put this out there about the family support. There's a downside that teachers are so stressed out and worn out, they end up losing their families. They don't have enough time for their husband or wife. They don't have enough time for their children. Their children end up on drugs or in the system. So I didn't talk about the negative side. I'm trying to stay proactive and supportive of what could change for a teacher and their families. Okay, well that's it for tonight's podcast in regards to teachers and their families. And stick with me, stay with me, It's going to get better. Teachers are off in the summer. I was hoping I could get some teachers towards the end of the school year, but of course they're still on strike, so they don't want to talk on a podcast. They're too angry to talk. So hopefully this summer I can get some teachers and students and maybe even parents to interview on the show. Okay, thank you. Until next week. We'll see you later. Bye-bye. Take care.